welcome back to the Gentle Machine. It's good to have you here again, listening as carefully as you can while we give the modern world and its technology a little bit of our time. There is no need to follow every small detail of what I'm about to tell you. You can let the ideas arrive one at a time and let them leave when they're ready. For the next while, we'll stay with one of the simplest ways we interact with machines. Something we touch and then let go of. Something that asks for almost nothing and sets almost everything in motion. If you're resting comfortably, we can begin. We press buttons every day, often without noticing and without thinking, without stopping to wonder what we have just asked a machine to do. A light switch, a button on an elevator, a key on a keyboard, a symbol on a screen. Small actions, minimal effort. And yet, each one begins something. Even before a button is pressed, many systems are already awake. They are not doing very much. They are waiting, a quiet potential, a stillness filled with possibility. Power is present. Conditions are set. Processes are prepared. Like a runner at the starting line. Poised, but not moving. Nothing happens until a signal arrives. A button is that signal. Before a button is pressed, there is often a pause. It may be brief, barely noticeable. A fraction of a second where nothing has happened yet. And the finger hovers. The intention has formed, but the world has not responded. This is a quiet moment of trust. We trust that the button will do what it has always done, that the system behind it is still there and still listening. We do not usually question this trust. We assume the light will turn on, the lift will arrive, the message will send. Buttons train us into confidence. They teach us that small actions can be reliable, that the world can be responsive. The effort does not always need to be large to matter. This moment, just before contact, is where human intention is clearest. Nothing has been delegated yet, nothing has been handed over, the decision is still ours. It is not a command or a demand, it is a request. A gentle invitation to begin. The act itself is simple, so simple we forget its quiet magic. A finger moves, approaching its destination through the air. The surface of the button waits, smooth or textured. Pressure is applied, a gentle force, just enough. Resistance gives way, contact is made, and then the finger lifts again. And the button rises to meet it, restored to its original place. The movement is brief, but the effect is not. Inside the machine, the button closes a circuit. It completes a path that was open, like closing a gate to let a river flow. Condition changes from false to true, from no to yes, from wait to proceed. Something is now allowed to begin. This happens whether the button is made of plastic, glass, or light. Whether it clicks, glows, or gives no feedback at all. The form does not matter, the moment does. Not all buttons feel the same. They push back, they click, they confirm themselves through resistance. Others are made of light, a flat symbol on a smooth screen. No movement, no depth. The confirmation comes later. A change on the display, a subtle vibration, a sound. And some buttons are not visible at all. A voice command, a hand gesture in the air, a glance held just long enough. The button is still there, even when it looks invisible. What matters is not the shape, but the agreement, the deal. A shared understanding between a human and a machine. Buttons are promises. They promise that effort will be met with response, that intention will be acknowledged. They do not promise outcomes, only beginnings. Some buttons trigger immediate responses. A light turns on, a sound begins, a door opens. The connection feels direct. cause and effect in a single breath. Other buttons ask for patience. A pedestrian crossing, for example, with a queue forming quietly behind the scenes. The system acknowledges the request. It does not rush. It has other duties to attend to first. It fits the new instruction into what is already happening. A polite and orderly sequence. Other types of buttons are protected, covered, hidden, separated from everyday use. These are buttons that begin processes we rarely need. They are designed to slow us down, to make us pause before we act, to ask ourselves, is this what I intend? Not because the machine is fragile, but because the consequences are large. In aeroplanes, the buttons do not invite curiosity, they invite certainty. They are shaped to feel deliberate, placed to avoid accident, designed to be boring. This is not a lack of imagination, it is restraint. It is a quiet respect for the power that is contained within them. Most buttons are not impressive. They do not explain what they connect to. They do not display the complexity behind them. They are humble messengers, and they remain simple so that the systems behind them can remain calm. When any button is pressed anywhere, on any device, nothing dramatic usually happens. What happens instead is interpretation. In the case of a wall switch, two pieces of metal meet. A gap closes. Electricity, which was already present, now has a complete path. It doesn't arrive with the press. It was just waiting. The button does not create power. It allows power to move. Current flows through wires, hidden behind walls, and up through ceilings, toward a place designed to respond. And at the light fitting, the movement becomes heat and glow. Not because the system understands the concept of light, but because the materials there do what they always do when energy passes through them. The response is not thoughtful, just faithful. In a computer or cell phone, the same idea holds. When you press a button on a laptop Nothing visible happens at first. No lights, no movement. The screen remains dark. The fan remains silent. And yet, a chain of events has already begun. Signals move, conditions are checked, processes wake from rest. A silent, invisible dance inside the silicon. The button does not carry the letter you typed. It signals a change in state. A contact is made. A value flips. A processor notices. It checks what it is responsible for and follows instructions written long before you arrived. Memory is accessed. Shapes are assembled. Light is arranged. A letter appears on the screen, not drawn or written, but reconstructed. Thousands of tiny decisions made very quickly by systems that never hesitate, because hesitation was never part of their design. This is why the result feels immediate, because the work was already prepared. The button did not start the process, it released it. A button does not carry meaning, it carries permission. It allows systems to move from waiting into doing. When you press a button, something happens somewhere else, sometimes on the other side of the world. And the movement of your finger is small, measured in millimeters, but the effect it allows is not. Inside the machine, the press becomes a signal, not a sound or a message, but a change. A simple fact that something is now allowed to proceed. That change is passed on, first through the device in front of you, then outward into networks that are already awake. Cables under streets, threads of glass running under oceans. The signal does not travel as one thing. It is copied, broken apart, repackaged. Small pieces of instruction moving independently, each one knows where it is going next. Not the final destination, just the next step. Routers receive them, read them, and pass them along again and again. The journey is not fast because it is urgent, but because the path is clear. Light moves easily through glass, electricity moves easily through copper. Distance becomes less important than availability. Your request may pass through cities you've never visited, buildings you will never see. At the far end, something receives the signal. A server wakes a process. A database unlocks a record. A system that has been waiting is now allowed to act. And something changes. A message appears, a file opens, a light turns on in a different time zone. The systems involved do not know about each other. They do not know about you. They only know what they have been permitted to do next. By the time the response returns, the button you pressed is already at rest. And after a button is pressed, our role ends. We don't follow the signal or supervise the process. We step back into waiting. This is an important part of the design. Buttons allow us to let go. They take complex systems and make them manageable. They say, you do not need to know how this works. You don't need to stay here. You've done your part. And so we move on and the machine continues. The system unfolds. The button remains behind, unchanged and unburdened. It doesn't keep score or remember how many times it has been pressed. It simply waits, ready to translate intention again when it is asked. This is why buttons are everywhere. They are the quiet translators of our world. They are a gentle boundary between human intention and machine work. We do not need to understand what happens next. We only need to know that something will. And when the work is done, the system returns to waiting. The light is on, but the switch is at rest. The elevator has arrived, but the button is still. Patient, unchanged, ready to be pressed again. And that's where we'll leave things for today. The machines will carry on, doing what they were designed to do. Buttons will remain where they are, unpressed, unbothered, not hurrying to the next moment or holding on to the last one. They simply wait, ready to translate intention into motion when the time comes. Nothing more is needed from you now. Thank you for being here, for pressing this button with me, for noticing this moment with me. The gentle machine will return soon. And until then, take care.